Oh, I think I've just realised something. Oh
What
no,
realized?
no, I haven't. Okay, hello everybody. I thought I forgot to change the track introduction. Hello everybody, we're here for round 5 of the SuperTruck World Challenge. We're already at round 5 already. That's round 5 of 9, so we're pretty much at the halfway point of this season. 21 laps ahead of us for the Circuit de Nevers Magny-Cours. I'm joined again by Tina Curtis for our usual running of this series.
Hello, it's me, your residential SuperTruck's biggest fan here. That's my introduction for this week. Deal with it, sure.
peak commentary. Anyway,
As always.
we're here for 21 laps, as I said, around the Nevers Magny-Cours circuit for the French round of this season. This is the last round, actually, of the European leg before we head to the Asian leg, which features 4 tracks from around that continent. Before we get into qualifying, though, let's check, not that one, this one, the previous results of the last race. If you missed it, then Jos Verstappen dominated at Donington Park by 30 whole seconds ahead of Sebastien Bourdais. Still, the podium was good enough to possibly put him within championship contention, as the Frenchman now sits just 2 points behind Tomas Enge, who leads the standings. Narain Karthikeyan is in 3rd place, with Rob Nguyen in 4th, Sperifiko, Enge, Yamanishi, Bernoldi, and then the remainder of the points were Kalnakut, Dragon, Jung, and Harberfeld. So it actually saw both Autobacks, Aguri VWs finishing in the points. We had a couple of retirements as well, most notably for Victor Maslov, who unfortunately retired. Well, not unfortunately, he did cause a big crash in Donington Park, but has been given special dispensation to continue driving and hasn't actually been given any penalty for this race. In the championship standings, Tomas Enge leads the way, 61 points, which is 2 more than current 2nd place Sebastien Bourdais, with Narain Karthikeyan another consistent result for him. He's up in 3rd place ahead of Colby Sarlo, Nguyen, Sperifiko, Jörg Muller. Jos Verstappen also got himself off the board after 3 retirements in the first 3 rounds. He dominated, as I said earlier, in Donington Park, which now fetches him on to 25 points for the season and up to 9th place in the standings. We've seen 20 drivers so far out of the possible 22 to score points. Neither Volkswagen driver actually scoring so far this season. In the constructors, though, Nordic Iveco lead the charge, 13 ahead of Zakspeed in 2nd. Charus and Ford now, with a good haul of points in Donington Park, move up to 4th place, albeit on countback ahead of Alfa Romeo. With West Mercedes-Benz, they had a brilliant start to the season and was actually leading the championship after the first round. They now fall down to 6th place ahead of Nokia Scania, Red Bull Volvo, Deniz Scania, and Autobac Zaguri. Like I said, Volkswagen the only team yet to score. Is there any specific drivers that you're expecting to see do well here today, Tina, or do you think it's going to be another unpredictable one with another different race winner?
I think we're going to have a repeat winner for the first time this season. I think it's going to be Sebastien Bourdais, because home race for him, he's French. They also go hand in hand. I think the crowd's going to will him on, and I think he's going to deliver. He's going to win today. I have a feeling he's going to.
And if he does win today, then he would take the championship lead. So it's certainly something that he could be looking forward to in this one. As I've seen that the why does the music not loop? Hang on. There we go. Peak. Anyway, without further ado, then let's get into qualifying. Rhino, welcome in. Hope that you have I hope you are well today. Had a good Tuesday. Grande ragazzi, what a discover this channel. Keep it up. Thank you, Rhino. As per usual, a 30-minute qualifying session is then followed by a 90-kilometer race. As first one out on track is Mario Harberfeld in the Deniz Scania. I'm actually going to turn my fan off real quick.
Yeah, and then...
There we go.
Sure, go ahead, turn your fan off.
I turned my fan off. Victor Maslov is also out on circuit after claims of possibility of him having a potential race ban. He is on the grid for this race, as we have kept the same lineup for all 5 rounds of this season so far, but performances, or the lack of performances, are possibly suggesting his early exit from the team before the end of the season, in place another driver to possibly, well, obviously another driver will replace him. but depending on who is unknown. Tomas Enge also out there on circuit. He was massively held back by the said Victor Maslov crash, as he was one of the few drivers who actually made contact with him during Maslov's reign of terror on the grid, I'll call it, as he fell from the potential podium positions all the way down to 6th in Donington Park and cost him any chance of extending his championship lead. And with Sebastien Bourdais in 2nd place in Donington Park, it's certainly once again on in terms of the title race.
Luciano Berti's not going out on track, I think. If we haven't even noticed that yet, but I think there he is now on track. So both the Scania trucks now on track. Clearly they're eager to get their timing on the board. But we're going to ride on board Mario Haberfeld for the first lap here around Magny-Cours. So, yeah, I'll let you take the first half and I'll probably take the last half of the lap.
Magny-Cours then has had a bit of controversy in the world of Formula racing, at least in the world of Formula 1, as there is claims that it could possibly be taken off the calendar by next season. So we'll have to wait and see if any further controversies hit the SuperTruck World Challenge race here today. I hope not, but either way for Mario Haberfeld, a fairly committed first sector for him through the long left of turns 1 and 2, and then through the long right of turn 3, then getting on heavy on the brakes. We expect to see a couple of overtakes here in the race down at the Adelaide hairpin, probably the most likely chance that we would see some overtakes, and towards the first of 2 chicanes. This track has also featured on the 2003 calendar, in which Enrique Bernaldi scored a fastest lap and currently holds the SuperTruck World Challenge record around this very circuit. Haberfeld then into the 180 corner, and he's looking good right now. 4 tenths up through the first sector on Victor Maslov.
He comes now out of turn 10, and yes, turn 9 is literally named 180 degrees because, believe it or not, it's a 180 degree corner. But a more interesting corner name is the Imola chicane through here. It's a quick left right here in the Formula 1 cars, but in a truck you need to take it easy to make sure that you don't run wide, because these are heavy, as I'm sure you all are aware. Past turn 14 now and down past the corner that was previously named chicane, because back in the old days there was a chicane right here, but it's not there anymore because of modernizations and whatnot, because we try to keep the drivers safe around here. Either way, we're coming to the end of the lap now, into the turn 16, 17 chicane, and out of it comes Mario Haberfeld, and he sets the best mark of a 152.425, and that's the time everyone else will need to beat for them to get on pole position for now.
Victor Maslov now making his way through the final corner as Tomas Enge 4 tenths up currently on Mario Haberfeld through the opening 2 sectors. His teammate Luciano Berti fastest of all through the first part of the lap, as Victor Maslov over a second away from pole position. We'll see what Tomas Enge is capable of doing as he now makes his way into the final couple of corners. The Czech driver looking to try and get a second win on the board here today and extend his championship lead after a fairly poor race, very much not his own fault, in Donington Park, and he'll do so by going to pole position. It would be a good start for him if he can start high up the order, but Luciano Berti may put a hamper on those plans, as despite going faster than him in the first sector, Berti not quite as fast as the Czech driver through the second sector, and as such only slightly goes second place, 300ths of a second between the two.
We're now looking at Mika Salo. If I remember correctly, he did set the fastest sector one time. I'm getting my words mixed up as always. Classic me being me, really, but either way, he's just gone past the second sector time, so we should see here in a couple of seconds whether he was faster or not. It's only a green sector, but he's up on Enge by about 16 thousandths of a second, so it's all going to come down to the last sector here, so we'll see if Mika Salo can get pole here as he comes down the straight with no name, which there are a lot of around this track. I'll just call this the Sector 3 straight, because that's the only real straight on the sector. As he comes down to turn 15 now, he'll need to get a good 16-17 complex chicane thing to get on top of the board, and he will do that by 2 tenths. Mika Salo now on pole position.
Good lap there from the reigning champion as he goes top of the pile as Koji Yamanishi starts his lap. Sperifico is making his now come to a close. The number 14, that's a lie, it should be the number 10 because I haven't changed the numbers on the side of the trucks from last season. Sperifico then. I believe he was top 5 in Donington Park, albeit his teammate won the race, but a solid result from both drivers in that round means that Ford are firmly in the fight for a good constructors position despite having a fairly slow start to the season. Tomas Enge into the pit lane, I think, improved ever so slightly, but not enough to dismantle Salo from the top of the table as Koji Yamanishi scored his first points of the season. It was a bit sad for him to miss out in Germany when he had a brake failure with just 1 or 2 laps to go, but he managed to get another good result on the board in the form of Donington Park and finally get him into the points for the first time this season. Alex, welcome into the stream. Hope that your day has gone well. Koji Yamanishi, though, not seemingly to hold as much pace as what he previously did in the last round, as he's currently over a second down over the first 2 sectors. Christian Colby, a good first lap time from him in the Zach Speed as he goes 3rd place. Just half a tenth, or just over half a tenth, separating the top 3 right now. It's very close between those at the top of the standings as Mika Salo now makes his way into the pits and sets a faster time. Love the AI line through this track where the AI go faster going into the pits, but either way, Koji Yamanishi across the line, and he will go only faster than Alex Young, 2.1 seconds off the provisional pole time. Currently set by Mika Salo, who improved by 2 tenths, making his way into the pits. Now holds a 2-tenth advantage over Luciano Berti in second. Jos Verstappen then will be looking to transform his season after a first finish, a first points finish, and a first win of the season, all wrapped into one at Donington Park. He currently sits in 9th place in the standings and would love dearly to get more points on the board. Maybe another podium, maybe another win could be on the cards for the Flying Dutchman. We'll have to wait and see on that one as he now makes his way through the final sector now out of the tight corner called... I forgot what it's called.
It has a French name, so I can't really blame you if you can't really pronounce that, because I wouldn't be able to either, honestly.
Jos Verstappen then out of the final couple of corners. He was 3 tenths up despite not being purple in either the first 2 sectors, and a lap time would be good enough to go him, take him to 2nd position for now. Give me the never circuit Magny-Cours. Christian Colby's gone to pole position. The link is well, this track specifically is in the 2005 RH F1 mod. I don't necessarily have a link for that because I got it in like a big super pack. But if you can find the 2005 RH mod, then it'll be in that season mod.
Well, how can we be in 2005 if this is the 2004 season? Baffles the mind, really.
Time travel.
Wow!
Enrique Benaldi then in 2nd position. Hello, Satan. Welcome in.
Oh, Benaldi hasn't set a time, though. I thought...
Yeah, I'm just... peak. Anyway, 4 tenths down for the first 2 sectors. Oh my god, wow, he's going to be probably around Victor Maslov pace right now as he makes his way. Oh no, that's never mind. 4 tenths down would be around between Luciano Berti and Tomas Enge right now, as he would be looking to try and get himself maybe into the top 5 with this lap. The Brazilian not with the best of starts to his season, as he has been somewhat matched and in some cases beaten by a new teammate Carnacut at the Red Bull Volvo team. Alas, though, for the Brazilian, he'll make his way up to the line. 8th place for him as he lost over a second through that last sector alone, so not a good lap from him as Jos Verstappen into the 1 minute 50s, and he now goes to pole position. Jörg Müller, though, another race winner in this series, but other than that, he's failed to show any significant results in terms of points finishes. I believe he's only scored in one other race other than his race win in the opening round in Interlagos, and he would desperately like to get himself back on track with a good result here today. Of course, a long way off in the standings already, about 30 or so points away from the top as it currently stands, but the German is looking good to maybe get himself in and amongst the top 5 with this lap. Across the line for him, it's 6th place, not quite so, and he goes half a tenth slower than Tomas Enge. Sebastien Bourdais also on a lap. He's purple actually through the first sector. The Nordic Iveco driver, probably the man most on form other than Jos Verstappen following the last couple of rounds, as the Frenchman is he was a bit slow to start the season, but he's really started to come alive in the past few races, as Victor Maslov on his second run, purple through that first sector.
Clearly, he doesn't want to be fired just yet. He wants to prove that he has the power to stay in the sport, and honestly, more power to him. Either way, I'm gonna focus back on Sebastien Bourdais now. Through the final chicane he comes. Will he take pole position? Not quite. I think he'll get it on his way back in through the pits. But for now, Sebastien Bourdais will be second, and he's actually doing another time lap, believe it or not. So that'll be interesting as we now focus on Victor Maslov going through turn 10 now. And now turn 11, he's going up to the sector 2 split time now. Will he be purple through the second sector as well? No, but he's a 10th and he's about 2 tenths down actually on Jos Verstappen right now. So he's putting in a very valiant effort as it stands right now. So we'll see how he gets on in the final sector here.
Alex Müller, his teammate, just went 1.8 seconds slower than Jos Verstappen over the course of the lap, and as such goes 11th place, albeit 3 tenths ahead of his teammate as of right now. I'm imagining this will be very quickly changed as now the Russian driver makes his way through the last couple of corners and Victor Maslov up towards the line, and it will be a lap good enough to take him all the way up to P3. A magnificent lap there from the Volkswagen driver as he moves up a lot of places in the order. Jörg Müller up to 6th place himself as he jumps ahead of Luciano Berti. Boris Dirigeborg, another driver in the Charus, that's looking good to potentially look to the top of the standings. He was only about 2 or 3 tenths down, I think, through the first 2 sectors, but lost a lot of time through that last sector. Tonis Kasemets in the West Mercedes is also out there on circuit, as is Sebastien Bourdais. Purple in the first sector, but not improving in the second sector. Never mind, someone else has gone purple in the first sector, as now Sebastien Bourdais is still looking for an improvement. Maybe a time to get himself into the 1 minute 50s, as Narain Karthikeyan fast through the first 2 sectors, but not as fast as the Flying Dutchman. Kasemets, 8th fastest. Bourdais, up towards the line, stays 2nd fastest, as it's Luciano Berti, actually, that is fastest in that first sector, as we now see the Indian of Narain Karthikeyan make his way through under the Bridgestone Bridge, and now towards the final couple of corners. A bit clumsy in these super trucks, but the drivers seem to be coping with it fairly well, especially with these slow speed chicanes. Narain Karthikeyan 7 tenths off pole currently and goes to 8th position, just behind this man right here, who's out there on circuit setting a lap that could be good enough to possibly take him to pole position, not unless Nicholas Chiesa has anything to say about it. He's on a first time lap of the session, and will be looking to try and get himself maybe into pole position up towards the line for Nicholas Chiesa. It's actually only 8th place, so fairly pretty much a letdown there, as Maslov to 2nd, make that 3rd as Luciano Berti goes to pole position, just half a tenth of a second separating the two. I'm a fan of the leaderboard.
I'm going to take over here for a little bit. Boris Dirigeborg, the other French driver in the field, comes towards the line right about now. he, I think, stays 12th, but improves by about 2/10. So an improvement there for Boris Reachable, and he'll be going into the pits at the end of his lap. So we'll be probably seeing a good couple of improvements as people come into the pits, because that's just the way that Magny-Cours works. So either way, we're now halfway through the section, and the only people who have not set times is Augustus Farfus, Rob Nguyen, Carl Nakut, and Koji. Is it Koji Yamanishi? No, Ryuji Kumiyata. I'm getting confused with the other Autobacks driver there, but Dragon is on a lap right now. Well, not exactly on a lap, he's on an out lap.
Sebastien Bourdais improves on his lap time to go 19 thousandths slower than Luciano Berti. So the top four separated by pretty much a sheet of paper as it currently stands. You could put a blanket over all four of them and you'd not be able to figure out who would be fastest. Alex, I don't think... I think you should be checking maybe the F1 Challenge Discord, mate. If you want the link to the tracks. I don't have one for you. I don't know if you're in my server, gamer, by the way, but if you join my Discord server, I believe it's somewhere in there, this specific version of the plugin, so you can join that and find it in there, maybe in the mods and other useful stuff bit. I'm not entirely sure if it's still in there. As Luciano Berti to pole position, Riccardo Speraffico 3 thousandths up though on his time through the first two sectors. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure whether I actually put the link out. If I haven't, then I will do after the stream.
Luciano now improves to 7th now. He's improved by about 7/10, I think, now. So Speraffico now coming towards the lines. Apologies for hijacking it, but ooh, Speraffico up to 2nd. Not bad from him at all. That's about a 2nd improvement. So he's looking pretty out there.
Yeah, the two Fords certainly seem to be showing their pace in this early part of the session. As Speraffico in 2nd, Verstappen up in 4th. Dragon, though, one of 4 drivers so far not setting a lap time, and as such is not doing too... Sorry, I'm not concentrating. I'm just looking at something right now.
You're fine, don't worry about it. This is SuperTruck, so it's like... The commentary here happens, whether it's good or not, like whatever. It's the SuperTrucks, essentially. It's clearly the best series ever, honestly. I saw Dragon moving there for a second. I thought he was having a mechanical failure or something, but no, he was just wriggling around for some reason. So, as he comes down towards the line now, I don't expect this will be either a representative time or it would be really, really slow. I don't think he'll be faster than at least Mario Haberfeld, so... Yeah. Hello, Horizon 40, by the way. Welcome on in. Dragon now comes towards the line, and it'll indeed be a very slow lap. 6 seconds off the pace. He is slower than Alex Young. Just Verstappen says the fastest first sector time. I think he's coming towards the second sector? No. Excuse me. He's coming through 180 right now.
Okay, I am back. Purple first sector for Jos Verstappen. Hello, Horizon, by the way. And he's a 33.3 through that first sector, so he's looking good right now. 4 tenths up currently through the first 2 sectors. Not quite as fast as the fastest time through that second sector is Riccardo Speraffico. Riccardo Speraffico is in Formula 1 and drives for Toyota. This is Rodrigo Speraffico and drives for Ford in SuperTruck World Challenge and is also the current pole sitter, now moving ahead of Luciano Berti by a 1/10 of a second. Jos Verstappen currently in 4th place and would like to emulate his teammate on the front row. He'll have his work cut out for him though as he now makes his way through the final chicane and up towards the line. It is good enough to take the Flying Dutchman to pole position, and it's currently a Ford front row lockout.
Good day for the Fords out there currently, with 10 minutes left to go, and there's still a lot of track evolution left to be found, but those Fords are looking strong today, I'll say that. So they might not be beaten towards the end of the session, but times will improve, so that'll be interesting to look out for. Either way, we're looking now at Mika Salo just past turn 14, going down past the chicane. He improved on his first sector, but was down in his second sector. His personal best so far is a 151.35, so we'll see if he improves here as he comes past the last chicane. He looks like he is going to improve, and he does so. He moves up to 4th place, so not a bad lap for Mika Salo. He's doing good out there.
Championship leader Tomas Enge seems to be stuck in a bit of traffic on his qualifying lap. He was a 10th down on Jos Verstappen through that first part of the lap, and he seems like he's going to be put under pressure here by the Zach speed of that's Rob Nguyen that's just overtaken him into the Nürburgring chicane. Correct me if I'm wrong if that's the name of the corner, but
that is the Nürburgring chicane, yes.
As he makes his way now through the 180 corner, he's now got a Zach speed in the way. So this has certainly not been a qualifying session to remember so far for Tomas Enge. I imagine he might need to come into the pits or something along the lines of that. Maybe get some free air in the on the track later on in the session. But I imagine as the session progresses, we're likely to see less clean air out there on circuit, as Tomas Enge still trying to actually re-overtake the Australian as they now make their way into the final sector. Jos Verstappen improves on his pole position lap time to go to the top by 2 tenths and a half, I think it's something like that. So a 150.2 now for Jos Verstappen now sees him firmly at the top of the pile as Enge up towards the line remains 13th, so he needs to find something in his next lap.
Christian Colby took up 2nd place there, and I believe he was because he was going into the pits. As we're now looking at Koji Yamanishi, he's improving on his first sector. He's about 3 tenths faster than Rob Nguyen, who is on his first lap actually, as it stands right now. Although Koji Yamanishi has been held up by the other Zach speed of Christian Colby.
That's a West Mercedes-Benz.
God damn it. I was so certain that was a Zach speed, and then it's not a Zach speed.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's Jörg Muller directly in front of him in the West Mercedes-Benz, so yeah, he's now making his way into the final couple of corners, and Koji Yamanishi, I don't think he's going to be able to set any improvements in his lap time with another truck in his way. Saying that, it looks like he's going to improve as Jörg Muller to the front row, Yamanishi up to 14th. Hello FF and hello Alec, or Alex. Welcome in, you two. Hope you have both had a good day so far. Rob Nguyen is looking to have a good day in qualifying, as he is not quite as fast actually as Alex Young on his second lap, so this could be a lap that could not see the Australian that far up the order, maybe challenging the top 15 at a push, but up towards the line for Nguyen, it is only 14th position for the Zach Speed driver, so not a great lap at all for him, as the Alfa Romeo of Alex Young up towards the line, and he's looking for a decent improvement here, about 2.5 seconds improvement, as the Malaysian now goes to 9th. Is that Jos Verstappen? It is indeed Jos Verstappen, currently on pole position. Tomas Enge, though, championship leader, did improve on his next lap, but is only good enough for now 14th place, as Alex Young improved so much so that he jumped ahead of him, as Rob Nguyen out there on circuit again, albeit 6 tenths down through that first sector, so it's not looking like it's going to be a lap of great proportions here from the Australian. Luciano Berti, though, is out there on circuit. He's actually battling one of the Charuzas, so I imagine that neither one of these drivers is necessarily going to be setting a good lap time.
I think the solution might be Boris Durishaborg. I might be mistaken, though, as we kind of saw like a couple of minutes ago. But regardless, even if he was on a lap, this is going to not really help him much at all, as we now have 5 minutes left to go, and everyone is now on track, including Augusta Farfus and Kalnica, the last 2 people who are yet to set a lap time. They'll probably be at a disadvantage, though, because looking at the track conditions, it has risen by 8 degrees, so even though the track might probably be slower, people are still improving left, right, and center, so maybe the track temperature doesn't really matter as much as I thought. Maybe it's really just track evolution.
Yeah, Luciano Berti here with Boris Doricevic. You were right with that one. In the way of the Brazilian, it looks like he's not going to be able to find an improvement on his lap time as the Deniz Scania now reaches his way through the last couple of corners, and I do not think this is a lap that is going to be of any importance to Luciano Berti. It is 100% not going to be, as Sebastien Bourdais improving. He's currently down in 8th position, as we've actually missed Koji Yamanishi up in 7th position. I don't know where that lap's come from the Aso Baksaguri driver, but either way, he's currently looking to be in the top 10 at least in qualifying, with 4 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Enrique Benaldi improving by 6 tenths through the first 2 sectors and is 4 tenths down on Jos Verstappen. Nicolas Chiesa also improving in that first sector, as he's down in 14th place, and with his teammate up in 9th and also looking for an improvement, he needs to find an improvement to match his teammate, who improves up to 6th position. 3 tenths of a second improvement there, and the Frenchman, now makes his way up into the front 3 rows, as we now will look at his teammate. Am I racing or just commentating? This is just a commentary series in which we watch the this is 2004, in which we'll watch F1, Formula 1. The next stream for that is Sunday, 6 o'clock, the 2004 Monaco Grand Prix. We've also got Friday, 7 o'clock. We've got GP2. F3 Euro Series is on Saturday for Monaco. We've got this stream today at Magny-Cours. And we've also got, for the first time this season, hopefully my internet is good enough to do it, because I host the lobbies as well in the league. We've got some league racing to come your way. F1 Challenge League Racing of the 1993 season. That's Thursday, so just 2 days time, on 7 o'clock GMT. So if you want to check that one out, be sure to subscribe, as we're nearly at 900 subscribers actually. So that would be pretty cool if we could reach that fairly soon. Working on as well the 1994 Hungarian Grand Prix video for F1 Challenge, although I don't know when that one will be coming out exactly. We'll check back in here with qualifying, as Sebastien Bourdais now entering the final couple of corners. Is this Sebastien Bourdais? Yes, it is. I lost which driver it actually was there. It's across the line for the Frenchman, and it will be enough to take him another place higher, albeit only 5th place, and he's currently sat 2.5 tenths away from pole position. Can't wait for the league race and also the Monaco weekend. I will be there. Great to hear that Horizon. I've just realised Augusto Farfus has just caught my attention. He's actually gone back into the pits. Maybe he had a problem with his truck, and as such I don't think he'll be setting a lap time, which will be a bit of a shambles there for the Nokia Scania team. His teammate though up in 7th place as of right now and out there on circuit, so he's looking to try and at least get ahead of Luciano Berti, maybe get himself into the top 6, as Dragon there getting overtaken by one of the Volkswagens, not exactly sure which one that is. Mario Haberfeld also out there on circuit. He's down in 20th place and needs to find, 1.8 seconds to match his teammate, so he's quite a way off there. And the Brazilian 4 tenths down on the pole time, half a second up. Will I do a DTM series? I have no plans to do a DTM series. I have no immediate plans to extend the AI series any further, because I kind of want to balance productivity of actually getting the 94 videos out at a decent pace and also do these streams every week. So yeah, so I don't necessarily feel like I should fetch any more series out to stream for that reason, as Mario Haberfeld, 12th fastest for him, not quite beating his teammate in qualifying today, as the checkered flag has now fallen. Those drivers currently on a lap will have to complete them, and that will be their final standing in the qualifying session. Sarlo a 10th up on himself through the 2nd sector, so he's looking like he could possibly challenge. It could be close between him and Sebastien Bourdais to get to 5th, and in turn possibly get onto the front 2 rows of Did Bourdais actually drive in Super Trucks in '04? This is a completely made-up series, Alex. So, yes, this is a series that I began in 2003. Mika Salo is the current reigning champion, as we'll watch him, and now across the line, he'll be able to not improve, actually, and he stays 8th place as Narain Karthikeyan has improved to 6th position. Jörg Muller, though, also out there on circuit right now, and I don't think he's finding an improvement, nor is the man currently on pole position, Jos Verstappen. Yes, this is a completely made-up series, which features like manufacturers taking part in truck racing. I don't know why I came up with it, really. I saw the mod for it and I thought the AI like to race here pretty good, so I might as well add it in just for. It's a bit of
just for fun.
Yeah,
really.
it's a bit of a fun series, really, rather than anything very serious. It's based on the Formula Truck 2012 mod that's in the F1 Challenge Brazil website. As Tomas Enge, down in 19th now, he's one of the last drivers to be on track setting a lap time, and the Czech driver will only improve to 13th place, which will see him on the ropes of actually being able to keep his championship lead, as the driver directly behind him in the standings, Sebastien Bourdais, up in 5th position. A massive surprise to see Enge that far down the order.
It's especially surprising considering that Sebastien Bourdais, the person who's right behind Tomas Enge in the championship, starts 5th. So this could be a race in which Bourdais, or God forbid, Narain Karthikeyan takes the points lead, because they're the two people who are right behind Enge with 10 points at the stands right now. I think we only have 2 drivers left on our lap right now, Bertie and Chiesa, though. Bonaldi and Nguyen are also
Chiesa's
there.
come out the pits. Nguyen's going into the pits, and Luciano Berti is also out the pit. So it looking like that it's going to be Jos Verstappen then on pole position. The race after he scored his maiden win of the season, as well as scoring the fastest lap in the Donington Park round. He looks like he's taking pole position here today and improving on that momentum, with Jörg Muller alongside him on the front row. So yeah, so the 2 previous race winners on the front row of the grid, Jos Verstappen of round 4 and Jörg Muller of round 1. Christian Kolbe in the top 3, with Ford really pushing now in the constructors, as Rodrigo Sperafico in the second Ford in 4th. Then comes 2nd place in the championship, Bourdais, ahead of 3rd place in the championship, Narain Karthikeyan. We'll see if Karthikeyan can get onto the podium once more in this season, as Luciano Berti, who are currently looking at in 7th place, reigning champion Mika Salo in 8th, with Dorishaborg, Yamanishi, Young and Maslov completing the top 12. Enge, the championship leader, very disappointing qualifying session from him, as he is down in 13th, ahead of Chiesa on row 7. Harberfeld in the 2nd, Deniz Scania ahead of Enrique Bonaldi, Tonis Casamet, Rob Nguyen, Alex Muller, Karl Nakut in the 2nd Red Bull. Dragon, that's Ryuji Kamita, in 21st and setting the slowest lap time of all, as Augusto Farfus fails to set a lap time. Join us in a few moments where we will be back for 21 laps of high-octane Super Truck action.
Sebastien Bourdais 6. 37. Mika Sano 8.
Boris Derishaborg
9.
Autobax Aguri.
Endured a lackluster qualifying session and faces a tough start in the midst of a chasing pack. He starts 10. Alex Young 11.
Victor Maslov
12.
Tomas Enge
13.
Nicolas Chiesa.
14.
Mario Haberfeld.
15. Enrique Bernaldi 16.
Donis Casamets
17.
Rob Nguyen
18.
Alex Muller
19.
Kalna Cooks
20.
Ryuji Kimita
With way off the pace of his teammate, he starts in 21st.
Augusto Farkas.
22nd.
And here we go then, 21 laps ahead of the drivers for SuperTruck World Challenge Round 5 here at Magny-Cours. There are the lights up in front of the drivers, and they are green. There's racing to be seen. It seems like a good start for Jos Verstappen as he pulls away at the front ahead of Jörg Muller. Christian Kolbe also trying to pull alongside the West Mercedes-Benz driver as they head towards turn 1. It seems that everyone's got away well, but Jos Verstappen leads the way ahead of Jörg Muller. The German, though, looking towards the inside as there, Bourdais up the inside of Rodrigo Sperrifico. One Ford has lost a place, as the other one has kept his position at the front as they now head towards the hairpin.
Good start from everyone there. I noticed that Muller got overtaken by Nakut there in the end, and Boris Wiesberg is now ahead of Salah. So a good start from the French driving people, but Sperrifico looking down to the inside of Bourdais there, I saw, but he covered it off well. Into the Adelaide hairpin we all go. We're nearly 3 abreast going into here. That barely didn't work, but 2 wide I'll just about do. So everyone's getting away fairly well, as it seems, as we exit Adelaide hairpin. Now approaching the Nürburgring section. Verstappen still leads, Jörg Muller still second.
That was a brilliant lunge there up the inside by Victor Maslov on Alex Young to get himself up to 11th place as he now looks to challenge Koji Yamanishi for the top 10 position. Sebastien Bourdais again on the move up the inside through the 180 corner of Christian Kolbe for the final podium place. The Dane currently holding him off as they now head towards the Imola chicane. Side by side, nearly not quite. The Nordic Iveco driver not quite having the legs to get alongside again of the Zaxby driver as they now head into the final sector. Sperrifico also getting close for comfort with the Frenchman as obviously with the championship now hanging in the balance for Sebastien Bourdais. Every single point may count with Enge now down the order, losing places off the start as well. And there goes Bourdais again making contact with Christian Kolbe, and as they head through the final chicane, that's going to be a good authoritative move there from Sebastien Bourdais, although they are still side by side down the main straight. Can Christian Kolbe fight back in towards turn 1? He's going to try it, but Bourdais swung it round the outside and he's kept the place as Kalna I think is off down at the final chicane, and I think he's going to be the first retirement of this race.
Yes, he is. So Kalna out of the race already. That seems to be at the turn 14 corner, but I think he actually retired down in turn 15, if I'm not mistaken, and indeed he didn't retire at turn 14. So let's see what happened here. Look into the inside of one of the Mercedes cars, and he's rolled it over.
I think he clipped the sausage curb on the inside there.
Yeah.
Which
I think that is what
sunsettled the Red Bull Volvo, and unfortunately for him, he becomes the first retirement of the race. The Austrian taking no further part in this round, as there one of the Alfa Romeos is looking to try and get past what I think to be the second Ford of Rodrigo Sperrifico as they now head towards the hairpin. Jörg Muller going defensive on Sebastien Bourdais, but the Nordic driver's having none of it. He's barged the German out the way. He's going to force him wide out the Adelaide hairpin. They now run side by side, the Frenchman and the German. Jörg Muller just about getting the advantage as they head now towards the... Oh my days, contact again
Ooh.
between the two as Jörg Muller is forced to cross the curb there by Sebastien Bourdais as I believe someone else has lost a place further back. Bourdais still in third place as there. Christian Colby going very wide and nearly losing out to not only Sperafico but also Karthikeyan, who's in the watching brief to try and get himself into the top 5.
Muller and Bourdais were having an absolutely fantastic scrap. Muller was trying to shut the door on him, and Bourdais was like, no way are you shutting the door on me. I think he's going to try and look for it again, but there's still no way through. The top 3 are all in a blanket here. Colby seems to have dropped back a little bit, but Sperafico's on his rear as it stands right now. Looking at the places earned and lost, the biggest gainer here is Sebastien Bourdais, no surprise there. And there's no real big loser. Everyone's only lost like 1 place. Well, not everyone, but the people who have lost places have only really lost 1 place. So no real big shocks there from people who have dropped down the field.
The lack of real change really does not present how absolutely chaotic it has been off this start. And Derishaborg is off. He's off at the final corner. And it might be the same sort of retirement that forced Connor cut out this one. And he now is the second retirement of this race. Is it the same curve that caught out Connor cut earlier on? We'll have to have a look. And it is the exact same. Very strange to see 2 drivers out from pretty much the exact same incident, and now the Frenchman out of the race. Meanwhile, Augusto Farfus, second last, sets the fastest lap of the race, wide from Bourdais as he heads now through turn 3. He might open the opportunity for Christian Colby to get into the slipstream and possibly challenge him in towards the Adelaide hairpin. We'll have to wait and see, as now Bourdais now looking to possibly even try and challenge Jörg Muller, even though he went off at the previous corner. Jörg Muller going defensive. Sebastien Bourdais not really looking which way to go. He's going to try and sell the dummy on the German as he's now pushing him through the corner. I love how aggressive all the drivers are being in this race compared to how conservative they've all been driving in previous rounds. It's great to see a different attacking style in their driving as now they head through the next couple of corners. Bourdais wide again as he tries to get through on Jörg Muller here on lap 3.
Bourdais is trying to look every which way for Muller. He's trying to go inside, outside. He keeps trying to fake him out, and it's not working at all for him. He's dropping back by a bit now, so he might come under the clutches of Christian Colby here. But Jörg Muller is still holding on to second place as it stands right now, which would be... I'm just checking the standings here. Would be good for him because he only has a win and a 10th place to his name as the actual points scored. So a second place will boost him up nicely in the championship standings as it stands right now.
Jörg Muller in turn also trying to challenge Jos Verstappen as the leader has not really gotten away. This is certainly not how it played out in Donington Park, as the leader currently with just a half a second advantage ahead of second place man Jörg Muller as he goes wide there through the final chicane. Strangely enough, it might open the opportunity for Bourdais to get a run on him in towards turn 1. Karthikeyan with a 52.0 setting the fastest lap of the race as Alex Muller has overtaken Rob Nguyen through the final chicane, as there again wide for Jörg Muller, wide for Sebastien Bourdais. Christian Colby's kept it on the straight and narrow for now, as now they head towards the Adelaide hairpin once again. Sebastien Bourdais losing time it seems to Jörg Muller as the 3 now head towards, rather 3, there's about an 8-car train currently for the lead of this race, and Jörg Muller's going to try and go up the inside of Jos Verstappen as they head through the hairpin. No real movement in terms of position, as further back we can see Narain Karthikeyan's just got past Rodrigo Sperafico, so we missed that one, and the Ford driver now relegated down to 6th position is now under pressure from Luciano Berti further back. Nicolas Chiesa also makes it a Alfa Romeo also losing position down at that corner as Alex Young is now demoted to the final points place. 20 cars, or 20 trucks I should say, still running in this one, as Tonis Casamet is now up to 15th place ahead of Enrique Bernaldi, now looking to challenge Tomas Enge, who seems to be absolutely sunk in the lower midfield. Bernaldi, though, looking to try and challenge the Estonian back into the Nürburgring chicane. I think he actually collided with the wall there as they headed down this straight in the middle sector, now into the final sector, and the Brazilian is going to try and make a move here on the West Mercedes-Benz. Can't quite find his way through, as in turn the Estonian looking for a way through on the Czech driver of Tomas Enge.
Jörg Muller and Sebastien Bourdais were having a good battle there, I think. The gaps just closing in, and there goes Sebastien Bourdais up the inside, and now outside of Jörg Muller. He now takes up second place, so that was a brilliant move that we just caught the end of there, but Sebastien Bourdais now up to second place, and he's going to try and chase down Verstappen now for the race lead.
Sebastien Bourdais really not messing around here today. He wants a race victory at his home race of the season and get himself into the championship lead for Nordic Iveco Racing. And now just 3/10 behind Jos Verstappen as they head towards the Adelaide hairpin. Will Verstappen be able to stop the RAF that is Sebastien Bourdais heading towards the hairpin now? Which way does Verstappen go? Inside, outside. He's keeping the outside line. He wants a better exit out the corner. Bourdais going to have that invitation to try and go up the inside. Can't find his way through. A bit too far back to try and get through there on Jos Verstappen. But now heading towards... there we go. Now heading towards the next couple of corners. I imagine that Sebastien Bourdais will once again be looking every which way to try and make his way through. As side by side there between Harberfeld and Enge, the Czech driver trying to get through on the Brazilian, but can't find his way through currently as they head towards the Nürburgring chicane.
Yeah, you know what you think about Tomas Enge is he is currently the championship leader by 2 points, so I'd expect him to pass like a good few trucks actually at this rate, but he just has not been able to find a gap to get past Mario Haberfeld as it stands. So he's just been dropping way back the order. And also there's Koji Yamanishi. Yeah, that's indeed Koji Yamanishi. I'm not mistaken him with someone else, but yes, Koji Yamanishi in 9th. So that's actually a great position for him to be in, considering he's in a Guri Autobacks truck. So looking around looking elsewhere, there doesn't seem to be much battling going on. Of course, as soon as I say that, because Fafas has now passed Alex Muller, so I take back anything that I said. There are battles pretty much everywhere you look.
Lap 6 then, we're probably closing in the next few laps on the pit window, as we expect to see a one-stop strategy, as we've often seen so far this season, for all drivers up and down the grid. As there, Bourdais going wide again into the gravel. This might open the opportunity for Jörg Muller to make his way through. He tried getting up the inside through turn 3 itself, but couldn't find his way through, blocked off by that opportunity, but now has a brilliant run on Sebastien Bourdais in towards the hairpin. This could be a good chance for Jörg Muller to re-establish himself into the top 2, but wide there, he's lost a bit of stability as he's headed through now into the hairpin, looking towards the inside of Sebastien Bourdais. He's forced his way through. Bourdais going to be furious with that one. He might be able to hold on to it due to a better exit out the corner, but it's a dead heat between Bourdais and Jörg Muller as they now head towards the Nürburgring chicane. Who's going to be last on the brakes? I think it could be Bourdais round the outside. Jörg Muller forces him over the curbs just like how Bourdais did to him a couple of laps prior, as now he switches it to the inside for the 180 corner. This is fantastic battling between the German and the Frenchman. And now he forces his way through and pushes Bourdais now onto the curbs. Bourdais trying to still try and establish himself in the top 2 and try and get back on Jörg Muller in towards the hairpin. Can he find his way through? Not quite. So Jörg Muller with a fantastic overtake there to get himself up into second place, but it looks like it's far from over as Bourdais raring to go, continuing to race with Jörg Muller for second.
These two are absolutely going ham and tongue at it. They're producing like the greatest battle I've seen all season so far. And the best part of it is that they're still only a second behind Verstappen, so they could still challenge for the lead if the opportunity arises. But they're trying to look for the inside of Jörg Muller, wasn't able to make that stick. Looking around the rest of the field, the closest battle I could really find is Jürgen Haberfeld for 12th place. But either way, Jörg Muller and Sebastien Bourdais are giving us an absolute show here. I think Bourdais is actually going to try and go for the inside here, but can't make it stick.
Yeah, Sebastien Bourdais still looking to try and get through into second place. There's contact between Jörg Muller, and Jörg Muller's nearly spun round. And he's coming down to a halt, and there's collision there between him and Narain Karthikeyan. The Indian driver's going to lose a couple of places as Rob Nguyen's also retired from the race. It's all kicking off here in Magny-Cours as Muller down to 5th, Karthikeyan down to 7th, as Sperifico has also gained places, as Luciano Berti's also out.
It really is all kicking off, you said that Nguyen's out, but they might be getting a time penalty. And Luciano Berti, there we go, got there in the end. It's all kicking off so quickly that I can't even get my words out straight. Here's Rob Nguyen, he's just going to tip over, and that's going to destroy his suspension and pretty much keep him out of this race now, because he is now out of this race. Now, anyways, if we can get a replay on Bourdais and Colby, not Colby, Bourdais and Jörg Muller. There we go. Got there in the end.
This
I
is
think those two just.
Luciano
This is
Berti with a suspension
Yes.
failure there down the back straight, and he is also out the race, so we're up to 4 retirements. I'll also get a replay again of those two making their incident. As there, Jörg Muller trying to defend off Mika Salo up the inside at the hairpin, and Salo, the reigning champion, up into the top 5.
That was a good move from Mika Salo, but here we go now. Bourdais and Colby here, going into turn 2, I think this is. He's just trying to send up the inside, and yeah, I think that might just be on Bourdais there. He kind of honestly was right into Colby and caused him to slow down there. So
Bourdais
we'll see what the
could
shooters have to say.
I think Bourdais could possibly claim that Jörg Muller was off the track, so he shouldn't really have deserved the room that he was that he expected to have been afforded by the rejoin by the German. But there we see Tomas Enge through the chaos is now up into the points. He's overtaken Alex Young, the Malaysian driver of Alfa Romeo Iveco, and is now up into the points. Sebastien Bourdais, though, in second place, with Jörg Muller now down to 6th after just being overtaken by reigning champion Mika Salo. Sebastien Bourdais now just under a second away from Jos Verstappen. Surprising that he's been able to close the gap. Maybe a bit of damage on his Nordic Iveco truck, but Christian Colby a bit further back, as the train has pretty much been broken up by that incident between Muller and Bourdais, and I think Muller may drop even further down the order, as now Narain Karthikeyan is looking for a move on the West Mercedes-Benz up the inside in towards turn 14 this is, and side by side between the two of them through the final chicane, and the Alfa Romeo Iveco driver looking to try and at least keep himself within arm's reach of the championship lead now moves up to 6th.
Another thing about Narain Karthikeyan, he currently still has the fastest lap as it stands right now. I think that was set around about lap 3 and 4, so he does certainly have the pace as it stands, as Mika Salo was running right there out of the exit of turn 3, Estoril Corner. That is his actual name. As we now go down the long Gulf Straight, whatever you say it. Toyota Straight even, for all I care. We're now looking at Sebastien Bourdais. Might want to look at the move for Jos Verstappen, but couldn't get it done. Back to Mika Salo, wants to move on Rodriguez Butterfield, but could not get it done. Any other moves that we can see from the back of here? Not that I can see. Nicholas Chiesa trying to get past Koji Yamanishi, as there's a West Mercedes-Benz truck of, I think...
That's Enrique Benaldi losing a lot of time going wide there out of the exit of the hairpin, and as such has also lost out a place to Alex Muller. So it has not been a good race so far for Red Bull Volvo, with one truck out and one truck third to last in this race, only ahead of Augusto Farfus and Ryuji Kamita as it currently stands. Jos Verstappen leads the race by half a second on lap 8, ahead of Sebastien Bourdais, but this could be not for much longer, as the Frenchman now looking towards the inside of the Flying Dutchman. Can't find his way through for right now, but Christian Colby in a comfortable third place ahead of Sperifika in the second Ford Truck Racing truck, with Salo, reigning champion, Narain Karthikeyan, Jörg Muller, Yamanishi, Chiesa, Maslov, Haberfeld and Enge completing the points as of right now. Bourdais heavily over the curbs there, nearly tipped his truck over and nearly retired in the same way that we have seen previously with 3 trucks beforehand in this race so far, but he's still on the back of Jos Verstappen. Another fastest lap then for Narain Karthikeyan as he heads into the 1:51s.
Again, Mika Salo is proving that he's the fastest truck on track, and kind of is proving for you. Tomas Casamedis has now passed Alex Young for 13th place, so that's good news for Tomas Casamedis. However, he now has to pass Tomas Enge, the current championship leader, who is down in 12th place. And I think Enge's actually trying to catch and pass Haberfeld, you know. As we look at Bourdais here, trying to look for a move on Verstappen. He might try to look at the inside here, but I think he's too far back, and indeed he's not going to make the move stick, as Alex Young has now passed Tomas Casamedis back. So it's fun times there down in the midfield.
Nicholas Chiesa also looking desperate to get past Koji Yamanishi. It seems that the Auto Baxaguri driver is holding up the second of the Nordic Iveco trucks, as battling further back is Tonis Casamets against Alex Young once again, as now they head towards the Nürburgring chicane for the 9th time of 21, and Alex Young looking towards the inside of the West Mercedes-Benz. He's going to try and hold it round the outside Casamets, and Alex Young has also gone wide as well as Casamets, so it's a lot of track extension going on right now for all these truck drivers involved, pushing to the absolute limit as their Augusto Farfus shuffled down the order after trying and overtake Enrique Bernaldi, I think that was. He's also got past Alex Muller, who's lost a couple of places, as Jos Verstappen now trying to bridge out a gap to Sebastien Bourdais. Gap is now 1.2 seconds between the Dutchman and the Frenchman.
The needed Jos Verstappen has now finally put his foot down to the floor to try and break away from Sebastien Bourdais. As we're now looking at Mario Haberfeld, he has just been passed by Tomas Enge, as I mentioned, those who were battling beforehand. Tomas Enge can now finally start to pull away from the midfield behind and try and pass some other people, as I thought Jörg Müller was about to retire there, but no, that's just the radio engineer saying that he's in a certain position ahead of the driver that we currently are. Oops!
By the way, there's contact there between Casamets and Haberfeld. I don't think the Denis Scania driver is going to be all too pleased with the West Mercedes-Benz as they head through the first complex of corners, and I think Casamets is not actually going to be able to get through despite trying to distract the Brazilian ahead of him. By the way, gamer, I put a link in the mods and useful stuff chat in my Discord server if you have joined. So it should be in there. It says that you also need to download JavaScript as well. So there is that as well that comes with it. I didn't put a link for that, but it should be easy enough to find on the interweb. God, I sounded so old. Interweb. God, am I... What the hell?
You can find this JavaScript file on the interwebs. That's essentially what you're saying.
Dear
I had to
me.
take a take there. I apologize.
Ford ready into the pits then. I think that's to serve Rodrigo Speraffico as there Sebastien Bourdais trying to get past Jos Verstappen. A lot of drivers actually into the box at the end of lap 10. We're now hitting half race distance in this one, and it's anyone's guess as who will take victory in this one. Nicholas Chiesa has finally breached the defense of Koji Yamanishi to get himself up into the top 8. Rodrigo Speraffico then into the box, followed by multiple other truck drivers, and it'll be a race in the pits between many of these drivers. So Speraffico, Sarlo, Karthikeyan, Muller, all into the box. Enge into the box as well, championship leader as well, don't forget, on his strategy, boxing at a similar lap to most of these other guys. And Sarlo out the pits, Speraffico out the pits, and I think they'll all remain as they were. Although I think Jörg Müller's actually jumps ahead of Karthikeyan, I think. Or, yeah, I think Sarlo and Muller have also jumped ahead of Karthikeyan, so I think Karthikeyan's actually just lost a lot of time. Enge rejoining out in 17th as Ryuji Kamita also into the box.
It's been a pretty lonely race for Ryuji Kamita. He's just kind of been chilling out there in the back, not really doing much else. He lost the pack about after years. So we see Alex Young under attack from Enrique Bernaldi up the inside of the Adelaide hairpin, and I think Enrique Bernaldi is going to get onto that position. He's now up to 9th place, so a brilliant move there from Enrique Bernaldi, as well as Alex Muller now up to, into 11th as he passes Augusto Farfus. So it's all kicking off here at the mid-pack, as I thought for a second there, I can't get my words straight. I thought Young was going to absolutely tank into Bernaldi. He's kind of done so there, trying to get his place back from him. Can't swallow it. As Enrique Bernaldi is just going to hold on to P9. So, as we got more people ready to go into the pits at the end of this lap.
Yeah, Enrique Bernaldi with a very opportunistic move. Alex Young was tucked in behind Tonis Casamets with not really any place to go there in the hairpin, and as such Bernaldi quickly making his way through and ahead of Alex Young, although I doubt that either one of them will be challenging for points today, as neither of them have boxed and they're already on the fringe of the points. Either way though, for Jos Verstappen, he's planning to box at the end of this lap. Tonis Casamets is in at the end of the lap, as well as Viktor Maslov. So we're going to see a pit stop battle between the Estonian and the Russian. And I imagine the Volkswagen will remain out ahead in the lead. He will be of the two. Victor Maslov with an 8-second stop. Tonis Kasemets 1.5 seconds slower in his transit time, and as such he's going to remain behind. What about Tomas Enge though? Where is he in all this situation? He's going to be seeing Victor Maslov now on pit exit. So it could be possibly side by side between the Russian and the Czech driver. There's contact between the two, and now Victor Maslov with the championship leader firmly in his rearview mirrors. This could be close now towards the hairpin, as Enge, I imagine, with the warm tyres, could be able to launch an attack on Victor Maslov, the Volkswagen driver, in towards the Adelaide hairpin. We'll see if he can roll the dice to defend his place, or whether he will lose this position. Up the inside, Tomas Enge there, in towards the hairpin. He's forced his way through there, and a very simple move in context of this race. He's now up into 15th place, Tomas Enge.
You did kind of need to make that move, though. He couldn't afford to be stuck behind Maslov for too long, because he needs to catch up to Kathleen, Muller, and Salo all ahead of him. So there was a good decisive move there from Tomas Enge, as Jos Verstappen is rapidly approaching the pit road as someone else is coming ready into the pits. I didn't catch who that was. I think it was one of the Cheruzes.
That's one of the Dennis trucks.
Ah, Dennis. That's one. I couldn't recognize it. As Verstappen now into the pit lane. He's not followed by... I nearly said Enrique Bernoldi. That's Sebastien Bourdais. What am I on about?
This could be the opportunity that Sebastien Bourdais needed, possibly an overcut attempt here from the Frenchman to try and snatch victory from the jaws of defeat of Jos Verstappen, who now exits the pit lane. Not a great stop actually in the pit lane, 8.7 seconds as he now exits the pit lane and rejoins in 5th place. I don't know where any other of the drivers are going to be around in comparison to him. He's going to be in 5th place, about a second ahead of Alex Muller, as Sperafico has remained ahead of the remainder of those that have boxed so far in this one. Maslov up to 12th, Enge up to 11th, so he's definitely jumped ahead of a driver or two in the pit lane. As Sebastien Bourdais, there's your confirmation. He now leads the race by 4.5 seconds. Meanwhile, further back, we're seeing battling on the pit exit between, that is Harberfeld and Kasemets in their battle for 13th. No points battling here for these two, but if any one of them in the top 10, or top 12, sorry, have any mechanical problems or have a crash, then they'll be certainly on the case to try and score points this afternoon. Although saying that, Enrique Bernoldi also looking pretty strong to try and score some points for the sole Red Bull remaining in this race.
Nordic.
Nordic ready in the pits as well. So that's for Sebastien Bourdais, I think, or it could be for
No, I think it was
Nicolas
Chiesa.
Chiesa, yeah. Yamanishi's also going to be into the box at the end of this lap, as is Alex Muller. So Sebastien Bourdais is going to remain one of the last drivers to make his pit stop in this race. He's going to take advantage as much as he possibly can of a potential overcut opportunity on Jos Verstappen. Fastest lap of the race with a 1 minute 51.2. He's pushing hard right now.
That could be decisive in the battle between Verstappen and Bourdais, so he needs to put up in those good fast laps now, because if he doesn't, Verstappen will stay ahead of him once he pits. So either way, we're now looking to Nicolas Chiesa and all the other people currently in the pits at the stands. Chiesa, ooh, he nearly ran to the back of Alex Muller there, so that was tight, but Chiesa got out there in the end. He's ahead of Koji Yamanishi still, and all the pit stops during that time were only about 9 seconds or so, so kind of slow stops by them overall, if I had to say so.
They decided to not make use of that, considering the safety concerns that also appeared in the F1 race itself there, FF. So they decided to revert back to the regular layouts for the SuperTruck race. Speaking of the SuperTruck race, I am imagining that no, his name's not Super, his first name's Sebastien Bourdais. They called him Super Bourdais there, I don't know.
Nordic.
He's going to be into the box at the end of this lap. as I would have predicted. Lap 14 is going to be into the box, as is Christian Kolbe. So this could be close then between Bourdais and Verstappen. The gap was about 19 seconds 2 laps ago between Bourdais and Verstappen, and now it has grown a further 2 seconds. So this is going to require a good pit stop from the Nordic Iveco crew. This could mean the difference between victory and defeat for the Frenchman with just 7 laps to go. He's going to be into the box at the end of this lap. We'll watch his pit stop in full and see where he comes out in comparison to Jos Verstappen.
It looked like he was going to run into the wall there. I was more excited about that, but either way, Bourdais now into the pits now. He's getting serviced. Christian Kolbe now also into the pits. He will not be held up by him, more importantly. What time will this pit stop be? It will be a 9.3. It's a kind of slow stop there, so it could allow Verstappen to get back through, but he's just come past the final chicane now, and Sebastien Bourdais has only just got out the pits now, so I think Sebastien Bourdais now has the lead of this Grand Prix.
As predicted, Sebastien Bourdais was going for the overcut attempt on Jos Verstappen, and it seems to have worked out of the pit lane for Bourdais, and he's ahead of the Dutchman. So this is absolutely perfect for Sebastien Bourdais, who now leads the race by over 2 seconds ahead of Jos Verstappen. I said that he gained 2 seconds in the past 2 laps, and those 2 seconds proved to be crucial in now rejoining in the race lead with just 7 laps remaining.
I can already tell the French fans are already going berserk over their fellow countrymen leading this Super Truck race. This is going to be a big win for him if he can hold on to it for now, because Tomas Enge is only in 9th, so he will take the championship lead if things stay the same as they are right now.
And of course, your prediction for the race win was Sebastien Bourdais himself, so he's currently 7 laps away from making that come true. Ford, in turn, both looking for a good result, as Tomas Enge with an engine failure on the exit of the Adelaide hairpin is causing a bit of a roadblock down at that corner, but he's out the race, the 2nd mechanical retirement of the race, and the 5th retirement overall for Tomas for the race. Tomas Enge out of this one, as I think he actually made collision with Mario Haberfeld. We'll get a look at what happened.
I think the engine failure happened before then. So,
oh,
yeah, it's happened there. It's happened there. He had no braking in, so he went into the back of Alex Muller. I think that's my view of the event. You may have a different opinion, but they all had to force him off the racing line in the end. So Tomas Enge out of the race.
Yeah, so Haberfeld, I think, has picked up some damage, as well as Alex Muller, who's now... or was that Victor Maslov, actually, that he made contact with? I think has lost...
It could be Maslov,
yeah, it was Maslov, actually. So Maslov's lost about 5 places in all of that, which is a big shame for him, as he was looking to try and score points here today for the Volkswagen team. Neither Volkswagen, despite the decent pace that they've had in recent rounds, just poor reliability, neither of them in the top 12, as Alex Young there overtaking Mario Haberfeld. He's definitely got a problem in that truck. We'll see if he's going to be into the box at the end of this lap, as there Victor Maslov also up the inside of Mario Haberfeld. The Brazilian definitely with an issue on his Denis Scania.
Tomas Enge
is running 9th, less than 3 seconds ahead. You're running 10th.
As, yeah, there Narenko Thakane going wide through turn 3. He's on the back of Jörg Muller. I got the last name right, did not get the first name right, as nearly actually tipped over the curb, rejoining the track on turn 3, as we now see Christian Kolbe is also just a I'm trying to say number and numerous at the same time. It's coming out as numerous, which is an interesting word to say the least. There's numerous tenths behind him, and as such, Christian Kolbe not quite close enough to make a move on Rodrigo Sperafico. It's unsure yet, FF, if he'll be able to race at all for the rest of the season, as Sebastien Bourdais remains in the lead. He's actually pulling away by a decent chunk every lap. I think somewhere between the region of 5 tenths to a second a lap ahead of Jos Verstappen. So absolutely perfect pace from Sebastien Bourdais. I believe he started down in 6th place for the race, so he's definitely proved to be a lot faster on race day compared to qualifying. Sperafico continuously soaking up the pressure of Christian Kolbe further back, with Mika Salo actually now up into the top 5 following the pit stop phase. He's now also on the back of the dueling pair for the final podium place.
On the topic of Ford having a double podium place right now, I'm looking at the constructors standings as it stands right now, and I think a second and third place for them would take them up a load of places, as Victor Maslov will go no further. He is now stuck in third gear, and he will pull into the pits at the end of this lap, so a dreadful day for Victor Maslov will finally come to a close.
Now, I was talking earlier about the poor reliability that the Volkswagen team has suffered so far this season, and it continues to occur, especially for the Russian. He's going to be out the race with just 5 laps remaining in this one. Gearbox failure making him the 6th retirement of this race. A massive shame for him, although saying that even after the Tonis Casamets crash, it was unlikely that he was going to be scoring any points in this race. Sperrifico still holding on to 3rd place ahead of Christian Colby as Mika Salo starts to fall off the pair for 3rd place a little bit, as now they head towards the Nürburgring chicane. Colby looking for a move, even though he's not really alongside to do so. Koji Yamanishi also running in a solid 10th position right now. He's looking forward to a potential back-to-back points finish, I think for the first time in his SuperTruck World Challenge career. So, so there is that. Is it true? Well, FF, if you've, I don't know if you're in the Discord or not, but if you are not, then you can check out the Discord, as that does have the schedule of all the seasons and all the tracks in what order they come in and so on. Brazil is indeed the season finale for the first time in its history at Interlagos. You'll be able to check it out there. And that's for anyone else as well or that's interested in more information of this career mode. You can join that, as Rodrigo Sperrifico still in 3rd place for now, ahead of Christian Colby, going a little bit wide there. Not quite, actually, keeping it on the road for Christian Colby, so it looks like he's going to maybe have a good run out of turn 3 here, and with a chance of possibly overtaking Rodrigo Sperrifico in towards the hairpin. 5 tenths is the gap currently between the two, and in the slipstream I imagine that gap's going to close. Actually, it's increased somewhat, so Colby's going to struggle to maybe make this move, and he will not be able to make that place, as Dragon's now overtaken Mario Haberfeld. So you know that the Brazilian's struggling with pace. If he's dropped about 20 seconds in the previous 4 laps, he's dropping about 5 seconds a lap to the cars or the trucks in front. As oh, I think Dragon's actually just gone off at the final corner, so he's now out of the race. So big shame for him. Brake failure has been confirmed as, so we're going to look at what's just happened there. So he actually got past Mario Haberfeld into, actually before the final complex of corners, and then through the chicane itself is ran out of brakes. He's pulled it off to the side of the road and becomes the 7th retirement of the race. So a lot of unreliability in this one. About 1/3 of the grid already out of it, with just under 4 laps to go. Sebastien Bourdais still holds a 6-second lead ahead of Jos Verstappen. It's 6 seconds and increasing to the Dutchman in 2nd. Sperrifico running in 3rd place. Christian Colby still in 4th, with Salo still in 5th. Jörg Müller and Narain Carther Kane in 6th, and the 1 place below that, as Nicolas Chiesa in 8th. With Enge, he's been able to make up for his bad qualifying and poor race start. He was down to 15th or 16th by the first lap, and now he's since recovered to 9th place and is now on the back of Nicolas Chiesa, so he could be picking off a couple more places before the end of this race, and actually has a good run through the final complex of corners, so might be able to make a move possibly into the Adelaide hairpin. Koji Yamanishi in 10th and is looking forward to a potential back-to-back points finish, as Enrique Benaldi and Augusto Farfus complete the points. Alex Muller, Alex Jung and Mario Haberfeld, those drivers that are currently still in the race but outside of the points, and it's not looking like another race where Volkswagen don't score any points.
It's also looking like another race where Alex Muller will finish just 1 place outside the top 12 in points. The only other race where that happened was Cordoba. There we go. Got there in the end. The race where the pit lane kind of wreaked havoc. That's the one. That's the race I remember that for. But either way, that's in the past. This is the now. And Rodrigo Sperfico is being caught by Christian Colby here a little bit. The gap's now down to 5/10. Clearly, Christian Colby is currently going. He's trying his hardest to get that third place away from him. I'm trying to get my words on it, and it's just not going. I'll pass it on to you for now for a bit.
I think the retirement rate has been somewhere between 5 to 7 retirements every single race. Often been more towards the 4 or 5 mark, I think it has been so far this season, apart from Cordoba, which we saw 10 or something like that. It was a bit chaotic in that one. But either way, for Christian Colby, he's not worrying about reliability issues right now. He's worrying about trying to get past Rodrigo Sperfico for that final podium place. 2 laps to go for race leader Sebastien Bourdais, as he now leads by 8 whole seconds ahead of Jos Verstappen, and this result will most certainly take Sebastien Bourdais to the top of the table, especially with Narain Karthikeyan and Tomas Enge both outside the top 6.
It's been a very good race for Sebastien Bourdais, to be fair. He's delivered exactly what he needed to deliver today. As Colby's running very wide there, he might be trying to get run down Sperfico there. I'll focus on this now for a little bit as we come down past turn 3 and into the turn 4, which isn't really a turn, more like a kink to the right there. Well, either way, Christian Colby is a little bit far back. We'll see if he tries to make a move. He moves to the inside. Will he get the nose in? He will not. So Christian Colby still on 4th place as it stands right now. As Mika Salo is actually closing in a bit back there. I don't know if he's actually been closing in, but I've only just noticed that now. So Salo could get involved in this as well.
As there, Nicolas Chiesa trying to demote Narain Karthikeyan into 8th place, side by side through the Nürburgring chicane. Contact between the two, and the Indian holds off Nicolas Chiesa for now. But I think we've actually been seeing that Rodrigo Sperfico is actually able to hold off Christian Colby with better straight line speed down that back straight, as he's even though he's in the slipstream. Oh, and that's Jos Verstappen on the penultimate lap, is going to retire from this race. Engine failure for the Flying Dutchman. He's flying no more, and he's going to be out of the race. A massive shame for him, as he was on course for a second consecutive podium. Second consecutive podium with a 2nd place here today, and instead it's going the way of Rodrigo Sperfico, who is now up into 2nd place. Christian Colby is now up into the podium places, and most importantly for Volkswagen, Alex Muller now up into the points. Driver of the day votes going the way of Sebastien Bourdais. He's won the vote by 38%, and I can't lie, pretty well deserved. He's fought his way from 6th on the grid and is now up to 1st position by 13 seconds.
Tomas Enge.
I'm still surprised by the fact that Verstappen is now on his 4th retirement out of 5 races. The only race where he didn't retire was Donington, where he won. That is such bad luck for Jos Verstappen, honestly. And comparing that to Rodrigo Sperfico, who has not retired in a single race so far, he's in 2nd place right now and trying to hold off Christian Colby, which he'll do nicely. It's honestly shocking to see Verstappen retire so much due to mechanical failures and whatnot.
There is no safety car in F1 Challenge is the reason why. There's unfortunately no feature for a safety car in this game, and I think Christian Colby is starting to back off at this point. He realises that he's not been able to get this move done. Tomas Enge, though, on this last lap, trying to get past Nicolas Chiesa by any means necessary after he's fallen behind Narain Karthikeyan in the previous lap, so he's going to be able to try and get through. Chiesa there running wide over the curbs, and this might give the chance for Tomas Enge to make his way through as we now look to the front of the field. Sebastien Bourdais has been absolutely dominant in this race. He's fought his way to the front of the field, and since he took the lead, he's never looked back. He's now leading by 14 seconds ahead of the next nearest truck, and he now makes his way through the final corners to take a fantastic win and take the championship lead. He wins, Sebastien Bourdais wins the round here in Magny-Cours for the 2004 SuperTruck World Challenge. Rodrigo Sperafico will be able to hold on to second place ahead of Christian Colby, so those three are on the podium. Mika Salo picking up more valuable points for Nokia Scanias, Jörg Muller, Narain Karthikeyan, and Nicholas Chiesa in 7th. Tomas Enge! Tomas Enge's off for the last corner!
He must have rolled it.
He's fallen. He's
must
going to
be
fall
that
down
final
place
corner.
after place. And Yamanishi's up to 8th. Benaldi 9th. Farfus 10th. Kanenga gets it out the wall. He's still in the race. He's going
just
to be able
about
to
to.
turn it round. And he's going to fall all the way down to 12th place. Disaster for what is now no longer the championship leader.
I guarantee you, he's going to go into the final corner, try and move on Nicholas Chiesa, and he's going to roll it. I'm going to say that right now. Actually, he might not even be that far back to get that move done. I think he might have just rolled it on his own. Yeah, he has. That's uncharacteristic. I think he was pushing too much, and he's just cost himself a load of points in the championship by that.
Is very fortunate to actually still be in the race and pick up a single point from that one, as Tomas Enge finishes down in 12th place, only ahead of Alex Jung and Mario Haberfeld, who's very clearly had problems with his truck following that crash with Tonis Casamets. But it is Sebastien Bourdais that wins and therefore takes a commanding championship lead. If you enjoyed this stream, make sure to like the stream and subscribe as we're closing in on 900 subscribers. Next stream is on Thursday, 7 PM GMT, for the first round of GPFL, Grand Prix Formula League, F1 Challenge League, featuring the 1993 Formula 1 cars. So if you're interested in that, be sure to join me then. But that's going to be all from us in today's stream, all from Tina as well.
You know, that was a great race, I'll be honest. So thanks for having me on today, Jane. It's been great fun commentating that.
And thank you for everyone who has joined us in stream today. And that's going to be all from us today. Goodbye, everybody.
Rock to the rhythm, to the rhythm, to the rhythm. Rock, rock, rock to the rhythm, to the rhythm, to the rhythm. Rock to the rhythm, to the rhythm, to the rhythm. Rock, rock, rock to the rhythm, to the rhythm, to the rhythm. Rock to the rhythm, to the rhythm, to the rhythm. Rock, rock, rock to the rhythm, to the rhythm, to the rhythm. Rock to the rhythm, to the rhythm, to the rhythm. Rock, rock, rock to the rhythm, to the rhythm, to the rhythm. Rock to the rhythm, to the rhythm, to the rhythm. Rock, rock, rock to the rhythm, to the rhythm. Rock to the rhythm, to the rhythm. Rock, rock, rock to the rhythm, to the rhythm. Rock to the rhythm, to the rhythm. Rock, rock, rock to the rhythm, to the rhythm. Rock to the rhythm, to the rhythm. Rock, rock, rock to the rhythm, to the rhythm. Rock to the rhythm, to the rhythm. Rock, rock, rock to the rhythm, to the rhythm. Rock to the rhythm, to the rhythm. Rock, rock, rock to the rhythm, to the rhythm. Rock to the rhythm, to the rhythm. Rock, rock, rock to the rhythm, to the rhythm. Rock to the rhythm, to the